What's up, guys? It is Eladria back at you again. Um, Now I'm making a remake of my last Fury and slash Arms Warrior PvP guide. Um, Reason being because one, it sucked. Two, um, I was still kind of new to it. Um, Kinda. I mean, I've been playing off and on through the years on a Warrior, but I decided to remake it because one, I had some things wrong. I redid my build a little bit, and actually, I think it's better, and I love it a lot better. So, obviously, we're on my warrior Eladria, representing the guild Solus, number one guild on Sargeras for PvP and PvE, mostly PvP. So, this is what you're going to be wanting. You know, if you get a guild, we have close to 1,000 members all the time, and at least 30 plus online. So, you know, if you guys are on Sargeras, join it. Feel free. I'll let you know. I'm actually co-GM, so if you whisper me on Eladria and I'm on at the moment, go for it. I'll probably invite you. Um, let's get started. Starting at my arm spec. Um, just to give you the overview, overlay kind of thing. Um, I'm not going to give you the rotation, you know, because it's pretty straightforward. Um, you know, I'll just give you the rotation. I'm not going to give you the abilities, and I'm not going to give you what they do anyway. Apply to rend to all your targets. Your Mortal Strike, Colossus Smash. This is what I do: Mortal Strike, Colossus Smash. If I have people around me, Intimidating Shout, Shockwave, depending on situational for those. Always going to be using Thunderclap. Always going to be using Whirlwind. You know, that kind of thing. Only use Enrage Regeneration when you need it. That is a talent. Pummels your interrupt. You know you're gonna be want to using interrupt to like interrupt your chaos bolts and chaos bolts and shit like that. Your execute. You know, obviously you're gonna use it when you have an execute proc or whatever. My go fuck yourself macro and my charge macro. I'll go over those two. Your charge, your sweeping strikes. You can only use sweeping strikes all the times arms because it's a cleave. It's gonna do extra damage around you for 50% damage for 15 seconds. You know you're gonna want to renew that every 15 seconds unless you're doing a single target. Your Blade Storm, always use it. Always gonna be spec'd with it because it's a huge AOE buff. You know, it's really useful and nice when you use it with. It's really nice and useful when you use it with sweeping strikes, especially his arms, because it is a huge AOE spec. I use this when I'm either blade storming my recklessness. I use it while blade storming, or while I'm doing single target rotation to lay down some DPS. Because recklessness is actually a damage increaser, and with your mastery stacked as high as mine is, or even higher, depending on your playstyle and who you are, it's really nice and useful, and you're just gonna wreck shit. So moving on, die by the sword. You know, you pop up your parry crap. You know, it's your only defensive cooldown, so use it wisely. Rallying cry, your health increaser, your HP increaser. I only use it when, like my healer, if I'm doing 2s or 3s, or BGs or whatever, you know, I only use it if they're on health, or low on health, or I'm on low on health or whatever, and they're dead or whatever. Mass spell reflection, you reflect your whole team, or you reflect spells for a certain amount of time. It's really useful when you're like focusing on a target, trying to kill it, and like let's say a lock comes up and you can't switch at the moment, or you're not going to. You pop that and it reflects back at the lock, and it doesn't help. And it helps, but you know it doesn't help that. A victory rush, when you get a killing blow, it's gonna give you an extra health increaser. So like if you're going ballsy in a situation, you know it's you 1v2. You know your arms. You do a little bit of single target, you know, on one guy, unless like the next guy comes up and starts DPS, and you know, you like let's say you blade storm, you get a kill off of one guy, and then you can chain that to get a victory rush, and you know get all that done, and let's say you could get another kill off of that, you know that's really nice to have. I can do that sometimes, but not all the time, and then after that, like if you're in middle combat and you're almost dead and you don't have a killing blow, enraged regeneration, you know, use that. Every man for himself, by the way, I'm going to say this really quick. Every man for yourself is awesome to have as a human. You're going to, whether all my classes are human except for my monk. Even all my PvP characters are human because of this racial, you know, it gets them out of effects like a stun or a snare, you know, stuff like that. It's really helpful. Heroic leap, always going to use it, whether it's to charge or it's just to get away from people, you know that kind of thing. Commanding shout increases your stamina for whatever, which also increases your health. I only use that in certain instances when I have to go defensive stance. My battle shout, I'm always going to be using that because it's going to increase my damage, or increase my attack power, which increases my damage. So that's that. I'm going to go over the enhancements real quick because this is where it really makes up for it. You know, it's really going to be that one thing you need. But before we do that, I'm going to go over the whole. I'm going to go over the whole gear thing real quick. Let me get over to a training dummy real quick. I should have gone to the other one over there. Okay, so we're here at a training dummy, right? I'm going to explain to you why it's nice to have this. Because look at that. My mastery just shot up to 200% from 195. Nearly 200%. Okay, I'm going to explain why. Now the gear. It's going to be your main thing. And you're going to see a rhythm with this, and you're going to be like, holy shit, that's a lot of mastery. You're going to want this. You're going to need this. Mastery is your bread and fucking butter. You're going to want this. So, mastery, multi-strike helmet, need it. Crit mastery neck, enchanted with mastery. That's going to be a lot of mastery. You're going to need that. Haste mastery, shoulders. Sorry, I can't speak today. I've had a long day. Back piece is haste mastery, back, enchanted with 100% or 100 mastery and 10% speed. Your crit mastery chest, shitloads of mastery. You're really gonna need this. Haste mastery wrists, always gonna use it. Your weapon is gonna be crit mastery enchanted with Mark of the Bleeding Hollow, because it increases your mastery by 500 for like 20 seconds when you hit. Your haste multi-strike gloves, because your multi-strike grants you a chance to deliver extra attacks or heals for like 30% of their natural value. So it can give you it can give you extra damage or whatever. Now your crit haste belt, I always recommend this one. You could get a crit mastery, but I prefer the crit haste because my haste increases attack speed and spell casting I do. So it really comes in handy when you have Shattering Throne and you're up against a frost mage or whatever. You can go with the other pants, but I prefer the versatility mastery because mastery, you really need that. You're gonna be stacking the shit out of that, and it's really needed. I'm pretty sure you could get an enchant for that, but I'm not sure. Your mastery multi-strike boots, you could get the other ones, but again, these are the ones I use. Now this is my build, you don't have to use it. Critical strike and crit and multi-strike rings, or crit and multi-strike ring enchanted with 50 mastery, and crit mastery ring enchanted with 50 mastery. And then I got my strength and versatility trinket, and I've got a versatility and strength trinket. So now, with my strength, increases my attack power, and my attack power increases the melee weapons, or increases the damage my melee weapons do by however, and then my mastery increases the damage and healing done by whatever, increases and decreases the damage taken by whatever. And so that's really nice to have. Now moving over to Fury. Again, you already know the talents. Don't need to explain those again. I will explain the rotation just a little bit. I'm not going to explain the spells. The same thing goes with this, but always remember, with your critical strike. I know mine isn't up there right now, but I always recommend getting your critical strike at least above 20 to 25%. Mine's normally above 25%. Mainly because what that does is it's gonna crit Bloodthirst mostly every time you use it. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna proc your Raging Blow, and then that's gonna lay out some major DPS. I'll explain a little bit of the rotation, just a little bit. So that's that. My talents are Double Time. You can use it if you want to, but mainly most people go with Juggernaut, and I can see why. Enraged Regeneration, only one. Sudden Death, only one. It procs your Execute, which is really needed. Randomly, like if you're doing DPS, you get a random Execute proc and you use it. Stormbolt, only like in 2s or whatever. Never use Dragon Roar. Shockwave, it's really up to you. I mean, it's mainly a BG kind of thing. Mass Spell Reflection again, to protect your enemies. This is more of a just fuck around thing, or cleave or whatever on Fury. I mainly go with Avatar, because when paired with Recklessness, it gives you a 50%, and if I'm enraged while doing that, it gives me a total of 65% damage increases. On top of my Enrage, which gives me however much ever it is on my Mastery. I'll explain that in a little bit. Anger Management's really nice, but when I'm spec'd with Siegebreaker and Avatar, you know, getting an Avatar and wreck Siegecute, it's always the funnest thing, because you just get to see people's bodies launch, and as they're doing, she's like, haha, bitch, go fuck yourself. You know, that kind of thing. So that's really nice to have. Now, the reason I'm in all arms gear as Fury, because Mastery. Your Mastery increases damage done while enraged by like 40%. And, let me see if I can find it here. Enrage. See? Critical, Bloodthirst critical strikes, and activating Berserker Rage will enrage you, generating 10 rage and increasing damage you do by 15% by 8 seconds. So, that's just normal if you don't have very much Mastery, but if you have Mastery on top of that, you're going to be doing like 50% extra damage on top of your 65. So you're getting 115% extra damage when you use Recklessness and Avatar. You know, you're going to be hitting hard. I mean, you're going to be hitting hard as a motherfucker. Always recommend it. I always use it. Well, it's not recommended. It's a passive. You always get it. You always use it. You know, it's the matter of what you do in that 8 seconds. So that's that. Going over the glyphs real quick. Glyph of Bull Rush, you know, charge. It gives you 15% damage or 15 rage. Spell interruption, Glyph of Root Interruption. If you get a pummel on a lock, for instance, on their Chaos Bolt, you know you're gonna do 20% or 6% extra damage for 20 seconds on top of that. So you know, right there is like a really good time to pop your Avatar and Recklessness and whatnot with your Siegebreaker, because you're gonna basically almost nearly one-shot them. Then with a Rallying Cry, this is only when you're feeling ballsy. I mainly use it when I'm doing BGs to get, you know, just to like, if I'm soloing 2 people or I'm soloing 1 person and then and then another person comes in. This is really nice to have. This is what I'm going to tell you real quick. These are the ones I use the most. I use Shattering Throw, especially in 2s. With a Pally or a Priest, it's really situational. Glyph of Wind and Thunder, you know, you're going to use that in arms most of the time because it's really nice to have. Actually, you know, I should do that real quick. Same thing, same as my last one, but Wind and Thunder, you know, you're going to be using that when you use Whirlwind as your filler for arms, and Thundering Clap. So that's really nice to have too. You know, I would use this as leveling. Not that you never want to use it. I don't even know why I have it. You want to use this while leveling because if you're like pulling a lot and whatnot, and you get a critical strike on your Raging Blow, which most of the time it always will be, Within 10 seconds of that, your next Bloodthirst will increase your will give you 200% or heals for 200% more, which heals you a lot. That's basically it for that. My rotation, most of the time, it's going to be Bloodthirst. And then if I have a Bloodthirst up, I'll go ahead and hit Raging Blow, and then my Execute, and then I'll hit Bloodthirst again, and then I'll get these 2 procs for that. I'll use that up because you never want to jump above 75 rage. So I do a couple of these. I do my rotation. I can't get a proc, I use my Bloodthirst, get that. Let's just say this. I'm using this. Get your DPS, Siege Acute, whatnot. Go ham in there and get that shit done. Just it's just really all up to you. It's how you want to do it, what you want to do. You can really get some gnarly stuff, especially in Fury. Fury is my main spec. I love it. I love it to dear God. It's just one of my favorites. I can do arms. Show you a little bit of arms gameplay here real quick too. And then I'm gonna end this video, or cut it short, or whatever. Let's go ahead and hop into this. I always start out. Most people start out in defensive stance. I don't. So, in case I didn't explain what these do a little bit here, I'll always apply to your target. It gives them a bleed. This is really up to you. I mean, it's not a spec or it's not like a talent or anything. You're always gonna have it. But this I use it right. I normally use this before or after my Mortal Strike. Mortal Strike, you need that. It's gonna hit really hard. Your Intimidating Shout is a AOE fear. You can have that too if you want. Shockwave, as I already told you before, is a stun, an AOE stun, or a line of sight stun. Slows the person. A Thunderclap deals damage like 10,000. It slows them for 50 and whatnot. Whirlwind is going to be your filler. It's really going to be your filler. And Arms is a really fast-paced, spec. So that's a really nice one to have. Like I said, Enraged Regeneration, Pummel, Execute, you know what those do. Your Charge, Sweeping Strikes. Sweeping Strikes, you're always going to want to keep that active, especially when you're in a group with your buddies in BG or whatever. You're going to want to keep that active when you're doing cleave damage. Only because it's going to give you that extra bonus damage with your 50%. It gives you an extra 50% so partnered with Bladestorm, it's really kind of hard not to do a lot of damage here, which is really good. Now, if you use this, if you use your Recklessness, Sweeping Strikes, and Bladestorm, pardon me, you're gonna be doing a lot of damage, a lot of AOE damage. And it's gonna be really helpful. So yeah, Die by the Sword. It's your only defensive cooldown, sad to say, as a warrior. Your warriors are basically glass cannons. A lot of damage, not so much defense. So that's why I always have pocket healers, or you always have pocket healers as a warrior. I only use this when I need to, or when someone's about to do like a feral druid. If they're gonna pop their one shot or whatever, I'll pop that because it increases my parry, and I'll take less damage by 30%. So against like a feral druid or a rogue, when they go to do their burst or whatever, or their one shot, super easy. You don't have to worry about dying, especially with that, because you're gonna parry all their attacks, and then their one shot macro or burst is basically fucked over. So you really basically did yourself a favor there. Rallying Cry increases your health and party's health around you if needed. I only use that if needed for myself or anybody else. Mass Spell Reflection, it's a huge, basically reflect, like Spell Reflection here, except it's for your whole group that's around you within 20 yards. So like, let's say you're focusing on a healer, you're hitting the healer, and a lock comes up and hits a Chaos Bolt, or starts to cast a Chaos Bolt, and it reflect it, and it's either on you or like a healer of yours or whatever. You're gonna reflect it back at them, and however much they hit it for is gonna do that damage to them. So It's really nice to have that. Victory Rush, always use it. Even when you get a kill, always use it. Even if you're low on health. You already know what these do. Your commanding shout, you already know what that does. Same with your battle shout. I'm gonna go over my other macros in here, especially my charge, and this is mainly my this is a good fury and arms macro. Just these three. I can actually delete those two later. My AA charge macro gives me a charge and a hamstring. As you can see, I don't have hamstring on my action bar. What hamstring does is that it puts a snare on them and decreases their movement speed by 50, and it does not stack with Thunderclap, just so you know. So that's that. My my second charge macro is my cancel aura Bladestorm. So let's say I'm doing some DPS, mage blinks or whatever, or priest uses life grip and grips in the way. I can cancel my Bladestorm and charge him. It also casts Rend, Hamstring, Shield Slam if I'm prot, Recklessness, and Bloodthirst, which will give me a thing when I'm Fury. But it works really good too for arms. Normally, if I'm playing arms, I'll put another slash in front of it, just so it won't use Bloodthirst, because then it won't work. So just do that. My GFY macro, or go fuck yourself macro, is it's really a nice one. I use it as a one shot most of the time if I can, or if I want to. You're gonna type /tooltip recklessness or space recklessness. Cast avatar if you're in Fury. Cast recklessness. Use 13 and 14, which are your trinkets. And /cast execute if it procs. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a really big dick DPS execute. I mean, if you watch Bajira's guide, I mean, he has a better one. But this is just the one I use because you can sometimes get crits up the same as his at 300k, but normally 112k or a 200k crit with an execute is really all I need. So that's that. That's all I really do. So again, guys, gotta get that alliance banner in there. So again, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I am Eladria from the Guild Soulless on Sargeras. I'm always up to do battlegrounds or twos with viewers or anybody who subscribes. I also do a Twitch live stream at Eladria PvP. I do want to fair warn you though, it is a little on the laggy side. I moved out here in the country a little bit ago, and my internet speed isn't so great out here, but it's still great enough for me to play WoW, so that's no problem. Anyway, again, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked, if you liked, or you have any ideas or tips or tricks, or you have those cool macros or unique macros, want me to give them a try, subscribe, comment if you have those macros, like if you liked it. Be sure to share this around. I will definitely appreciate it. Again, also another person who gave me tips on this guide is my friend Graybush. So thank you very much, buddy, if you're watching. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Bajira, because without Bajira, I wouldn't know a lot of what I do. So it's kind of a guide based off of his, but mine has a little bit more tweaks to his, or mine has a little bit more tweaks compared to his. So it really depends on your playstyle. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Share around if you liked. I will be posting it to my Facebook page at Eladria PvP, so go like there if you'd like. Anyway, guys, peace out, and I do want to thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your night and day or whatever time it is, and thank you guys so very much. Peace out.